Welcome back to the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. Trying to make the inner cities, trying to make everywhere a little bit more green. That is the mission of the man you're about to meet. Jason Aviles is with Wilmington Green Box. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
What is Wilmington Green Box?
So Wilmington Green Box is a 501c3 nonprofit program that specializes in training, educating, and employing at-risk local teens from the community while simultaneously offering fresh fruits and vegetables as well as healthy goods to the community at large.
Tell me how that works.
So this is exactly what it looks like. So we have two ways that we sell different, produce items and healthy goods. We have a mobile push cart, which goes directly into these different areas of the communities that have been categorized as food deserts, which means that they exist more than a half a mile away from getting direct access to some of these goods. And then we have a semi-permanent kiosk that's open seasonal during the warmer season, right on Market Street. So that's more consistent, more stable, and reliable. And the kids, they run all the daily operations of the projects. We're talking about them selling it, them exchanging, cash for goods, as well as making deposits. So we teach them the real entrepreneurial skills behind it, so those skills can be transferable to anything they choose to do with their life, exiting out the job or moving forward.
So you teach them how to exchange money, you teach them how to run a business, and at the same time, they get a little healthier.
Yes, yes.
Do they eat the food?
Of course they do. When they're working behind this kiosk between the hours of 11 to 4, Monday through Friday, and they're being exposed, and again, it is a matter of exposure and access for a lot of these kids that don't quite incorporate a lot of healthy food options in their diet. What we're starting to see is that not only are they now starting to consume more healthier foods, but they're actually demanding for it in their household. Or now they have a different relationship with it. So when they see an apple or a banana on the table, now they know what it is, what it does for them, and they actually feel excited about eating it. When you
say what it is,
yes,
you mean that the access is so limited, they haven't seen some of these vegetables?
Absolutely. I would say one of the most extraordinary experience I've had, working with Wilmington Green Box. And it's quite humbling to know what lack of access and exposure does in terms of awareness. And for me, the first time I ever saw spinach in its raw form outside of it being in a can was in 2012.
Really?
The first time I've ever seen an avocado, besides it not being smashed up as guacamole at Chipotle, was in 2013. And yet these are terms and these are foods that are thrown around so widely that you would think that it's the norm for people to know what these things look like in their original form.
This is a bigger problem than I think most people would have imagined, because sure, they know the names. It's not that they don't know what these things are, but if they've never experienced them, how possibly could they have eaten them? You know what I mean? Are you doing this to make Wilmington a little healthier?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the intention behind it essentially is to understand that food does a lot more for us than we know. The mind-body connection is so real. And, there's been studies that have shown that with a lack of a nutritious diet, it starts to affect your mental clarity. It starts to affect your understanding, your feeling of self. And I think what people are missing out on due to lack of access and exposure is that understanding. And the more that they start to incorporate these healthier options in their diet, we're starting to see them experience the benefits for themselves, and that's empowering.
Two quick questions. Where does the food come from?
So most of our food is purchased locally. We really try our best to source locally because we believe in supporting and building the local economy here. So we were working with programs called Bright Spot Urban Farms that harvest their own fruits and vegetables right here in Newcastle.
Do they donate it, or do you buy it and then?
We were purchased. Some things were donated, and to offer those more, like, let's say we're looking at avocados or bananas, which isn't harvested here locally, that we would buy local from like a local distributor instead.
Why don't you grow it here?
Yes, that's the next phase. And I think to further connect the dots and to build that relationship with community and food, I think it's important that they understand where the fruits and vegetables come from.
Have you talked to the mayor about this?
I've spoken to him about it. He was there at our grand opening, and he was really excited about the project.
You got all these vacant lots.
Yes.
They
And you
could
know
be
what?
gardens.
You're right. And we started with our most recent project on Market Street. It was a neglected, parcel that had just been sitting there, and there had been some work done in the past, but for the most part, it was just dormant. And we said, hey, like, what a better thing to do than to activate this space and turn it into a source for healthier option for both the working professionals and the residents, and in turn give kids actual day-to-day experience of what it's like getting behind a product and feeling good about it and selling it to the general public.
How do people contact you?
Okay, Wilmington Greenbox at Gmail, and our website is wilmingtongreenbox.org.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
luck.
man. Thank you.
Jason Aviles, Wilmington Greenbox. When we come back, how do you know if the health food you're eating is actually healthy? We'll talk about food labels when the Delaware Way continues.